Morning students, I hope you all are fine and safe. Students, in the earlier videos we done some divisibility test by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 and 11. And in this video we will learn some more divisibility rules. Now here we have the first point, that is if a number is divisible by another number. Here, if a number, let's take any number, we take a number 36. If a number is divisible by another number, let's another number be 12. Then it is divisible by each of the factor of that number. It means if 36 is divisible by 12, then this 36 is also divisible by the factors of 12. So let's start. Now here we take a number 36. If I follow this rule, we have 36 is divisible by 12. According to this line, if a number is divisible by another number, here this is a number, 36 is divisible by another number and 12 is the another number. So according to the rule, if 36 is divisible by 12, then this 36 is also divisible, this 36 is also divisible by factors of 12. Whatever the factors of 12 we have, that 36 is also divisible by 12. So let's find the factors of 12. Factors of 12. We know how to find the factors. Let's 1 multiply by 2, 12. 1 12s are 12, 2 6 are 12, 3 4s are 12. So the factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12. So these are the factors of 12, and according to this rule, if 36 is divisible by 12, then 36 is also divisible by factors of 12. So I can write 36 is divisible by 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12 itself. So these are the factors of 12. So if that number is divisible by 12, so this number is also divisible by the factors of 12. And you can also take any another example to satisfy this rule. So this is the first rule. If a number is divisible by 12, then it is divisible by each of its factors. So this is our first rule, first divisibility rule. So we have second divisibility rule. If a number is divisible by two co-prime numbers, here we have a number, we have a number 30. If this number is divisible by two co-prime numbers, means the numbers which are co-prime. Firstly, let's recall what do you mean by co-prime numbers. Co-prime numbers, two numbers having only one as a common factor. We done in the earlier videos, if there is only one as a common factor, so such kind of numbers are called co-prime number. For example, 4 and 15, in these two there is one common factor, that is 1. So such kind of numbers are called co-prime number. So according to the rule, if a number is divisible by two co-prime numbers, let first co-prime number is 3 and 5. Here 3 and 5 are co-prime number because the common factor between 3 and 5 is 1 only. If a number is divisible by two co-prime number, then it is divisible by their product. It means if 30 is divisible by 3, if 30 is divisible by 5 and both 3 and 5 are co-prime number, then this 30 is divisible by their product. Means 3 multiplied by 15. So I can write like this, as 30 is divisible by 3 and 5, where 3 and 5 are co-prime. and co-prime numbers are the numbers which have only 1 as a common factor. So let's check why they are co-prime. 3, here the factors of 3 are 1 into 3, we have 3. Here factors of 3 is equals to 1 and 3. Then we have 5, that is 1 multiplied by 5 is equals to 5. So factors of 5 are 1 and 5. If I have to find the common factor, here 1 is the common factor, so I will write common factor of 3 and 5 is 1 only. If two numbers having only 1 as a common factor, so we can say that 3 and 5 both are co-prime numbers. If 30 is divisible by 3 and 5, where 3 and 5 both are co-prime, then according to the rule, 30 is divisible by its product, means 3 multiplied by 5. So 30 is divisible by 15 also. So it is clear, if I divide 30 by 15, 15 twos are 30, so it is also divisible by 15. So this is the second rule. If a number is divisible by two co-prime number, then it is also divisible by their product. Now we have third rule, that is, if two given numbers are divisible by a number, if two given numbers, suppose two given numbers are 20 and 40, you can take any number, here I take 20 and 40. If 20 and 40 are divisible by a number, means any other number, suppose 20 and 40 both are divisible by 4, and we know that 20 is divisible by 4 and 40 is divisible by 4. If two given numbers are divisible by a number, if I write, then I will write 20 and 40 both are divisible by 4. Divisible by 4 means 20 divided by 4, 4 5s are 20, and 40 divided by 4, 4 1s are 4, 4 zeros are 0. Here 20 and 40 both are divisible by 4. If 20 and 40 both are divisible by 4, then their sum means plus, means then their sum means 20 plus 40, which is equals to 60, is also divisible by that number. That number is 4, means 60 is also divisible by 4. If 20 and 40 both are divisible by 4, then 20 plus 40, the sum of both the number, that is 60, is also divisible by 4. Let's check. 60, 4 1s are 4, here we get 2, 4 5s are 20. So here we have the third rule. If two given numbers are divisible by a number, then their sum is also divisible by that number. You can also take any another number for this rule. Here 20 and 40 both are divisible by 4. So we have 20 plus 40, that is 60, is also divisible by 4. This is the third divisibility rule. Now the fourth divisibility rule is, if two given numbers, means we have to take any two number, let's take 35 and 20, you can take any number, both are divisible by a number, means 35 and 20 both are divisible by a number. So we have 5, as 35 is divisible by 5, 20 is divisible by 5. If I write this, so 35 and 20 both are divisible by 5. Both numbers are divisible by 5. It means 35 is divided by 5, 5 7s are 35. Then we have 20, 5 4s are 20. So here 35 and 20 both are divisible by 5. Then according to the rule, then their difference means you have to subtract. Then their difference is also divisible by that number. Here that number is 5. So it means if you subtract both the numbers, after subtracting you will get 15, and this 15 is also divisible by 5. So let's check. 15 divided by 5. 5 threes are 15. So here we have. So it means fourth rule is if both the numbers are divisible by any number, then their difference is also divisible by that number. So our first rule was if the number is divisible by another number, then this given number is also divisible by the factors of that number. Then we have second rule. If a number is divisible by two numbers and both the numbers are co-prime, then this number is also divisible by their product. Then we have the third point. It means if two given numbers are divisible by a number, then their sum is also divisible by that number. And the fourth is if the two numbers are divisible by a number, then their difference is also divisible by that number. So this is all with more divisibility rules, and these rules will help to solve first question of the next exercise. Then we have prime factors. Now our next topic is prime factors. So it will form by two words. First is prime. Prime numbers are the number which have only two factors. First factor is 1 and second factor is number itself. Suppose we have 5. Here 5 is a number and the factors of 5 are 1 and 5. Here we have 1 as a factor and the number itself. So 5 is a prime number. Now we have factor. So factor, we know that factors which are the exact divisor of any number. So we have prime factors. So what do you mean by prime factors? So a factor of a given number is called a prime factor if its factor is a prime number. Suppose I have a number 12. If here factor is written, it means I have to find the factors of 12. Factors of 12. We know that 1 into 12 is equals to 12. 2 6 are 12. 3 4s are 12, because here factor is written, so I just write all the factors of 12. So here my factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12. So these all are the factors of 12, but here the concept is prime. Prime factor means prime numbers. If we have the prime numbers in the factors, then these are the prime factors. Here, as we know, 1 is neither prime nor composite. It is a unique number. Here 2 is prime number, and here 3 is also prime number. 4 is composite because 4 have more than 2 factors. 6 is composite, 12 is composite. Now in this factor we have 2 prime numbers, so we can say that the factors 2 and 3 are called prime factors. Prime factors means the factors which are prime number are called prime factors. We always write the factors of the given number, and while writing the factors of the given number, if you get the prime number, so these numbers are called prime factors. Now next we have prime factorization. Prime factorization means when we can express a given number. Let's take a given number 45. When we express a given number as a product of prime factors, product means multiply when you express a given number by product of prime factors, means between two or more prime factors you will use the sign of multiplication. Such kind of numbers are called prime factorization. Now suppose I take 45. So let's start prime factorization. We always starts from the smallest number. Here the smallest number is 2, and we know that 45 is not divisible by 2 because the number ending with the 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 means even number, then it is divisible by 2. So it is not divisible by 2. So let's start with 3. Whenever you have to check whether the number is divisible by 3 or not, just add both the digits. If you add 4 plus 5, you will get 9. After adding 4 plus 5, you will get 9. It means this number is divisible by 3. So here write 3. When you divide 45 by 3, 3 ones are 3, and here we have 5. 3 5s are 15. When you divide 45 by 3, then you will get 15. Okay, then next, if you add 1 plus 5, then you will get 6, and 6 is also divisible by 3. It is a multiple of 3. So when you divide 15 by 3, 3 5s are 15. So here we have 5, and 5 is divisible by 5. So this is the prime factorization, but here the prime factorization can express as a product. So we can write prime factorization of 45 is equals to, as we can express given number as a product of prime factors. Product of prime factor, this is the first prime factor, 3 into 3 into 5. In prime factorization, you always get the prime numbers over here. So these are the prime factors, and you can express a given number as a product of prime factors. So this is known as prime factorization. Prime factorization, simply if you express a given number as a product of prime factors, and prime factor means when the factors are prime. Let's start exercise 3.5. So first question of exercise 3.5 is, which of the following statements are true or false? So here we have some statements, and we have to write whether the statement is true or not. Now first is, we have if a number is divisible by 3. Here we have if a number is divisible by 3. So let's take a number 15. If 15 is divisible by 3, 3 5s are 15. So it must be divisible by 9. It means if the number is divisible by 3, then this number is divisible by 9. So let's check. Here 9 ones are 9. We have here remainder, that is 6. So it is not necessary if the number is divisible by 3, then it must be divisible by its multiple. So according to the rule, what we done, if the number is divisible by 3, then this number is also divisible by the factors of 3, not the multiples of 3. So this statement is false. So our first statement is false, because according to the rule, first rule which we done, if the number is divisible by 3, then it must be divisible by its factors. So here we have B part. If a number is divisible by 9, if a number is divisible by 9, let's take 27. Here 27 is divisible by 9. 9 3s are 27. It must be divisible by 3. 29 divided by 3. Here 3 9s are 27. So in this case we have true statement. Why? Because if a number is divisible by 9, then this 27 is also divisible by factors of 9, as we done in the first point, factors of 9, and factors of 9 are 1 3 9 itself, and 3 is a factor of 9. So if a number is divisible by 9, then it must be divisible by its factor, and 3 is a factor of 9. So that B statement is a true statement. So next, the C part. Here we have a statement, a number is divisible by 18. We have a number that is divisible by 18, then it is divisible by both 3 and 6. As we know that 3 and 6 both are not co-prime, because co-prime numbers are the number which have only one as a common factor. So here we have a number that is divisible by 18. So let's take a number that is divisible by 18. If I take 60, here we know that 60 is divisible by 3. 3 2s are 6. We have 0. So here I have 0 as a remainder. And here 60, this 60 is again divisible by 6. 6 1s are 6. 0, then 0. 6 zeros are 0. Here it means 60 is divisible by 3. 60 is divisible by 3 and 60 is divisible by 6. But here it is written if a number is divisible by 18. If it is divisible by both 3 and 6. If 60 is divisible by 3 and 6, then they both are divisible by 18. If I check here, 60 divided by 18. 18 3s are 54. Here I have a remainder 6. So we can say that it is not necessary if the number is divisible by both 3 and 6, then it is divisible by 18. In some cases it may possible, because if I take 36, here 36 is divisible by 18, 36 is divisible by 2, and 36 is divisible by 6. But if I take 60, here 60 is divisible by 3, 60 is divisible by 6, but 60 is not divisible by 18. Always keep in mind, if the number, these two numbers are the co-prime number, then it is divisible by, otherwise not. But here 3 and 6 not are co-prime numbers. So a number is divisible by 18 if it is divisible by both 3 and 6. This is the false statement. Yes, some cases it is true, but if there is a contradiction, then we can consider as a false, because 60 is divisible by 3, 60 is divisible by 6, but 60 is not divisible by 18. So this is the false statement. Why? The second way is because 3 and 6 are not co-prime. And we know that if the number is divisible by any two co-prime number, then the given number is divisible by their product, as we done in the divisibility rules. Now the D part is, if a number is divisible by 9 and 10 both, here the number is divisible by 9 and 10 both, then it is divisible by 90. Now this statement is a true statement. Why? This is same as C part, but there is a one difference, that in C part here 3 and 6 are not co-prime, and here 10 and 9 and 10 are both co-prime numbers. And we know that if a number is divisible by any two co-prime number, then it is divisible by their product. If 9 and 10 are co-prime, then the given number is also divisible by its product. So yes, if a number is divisible by 9 and 10 both, then it is divisible by 90. Why it is a true statement? Because here both the numbers are the co-prime number, and then in the C part both the numbers are not co-prime number. So this statement is a true statement, because if a number is divisible by 9 and 10 both, then it is divisible by its product. So this rule we have done. So let's continue with the E part. Here E part is, if two numbers are co-prime number, and we know that co-prime numbers are the number in which the common factor is 1, at least one of them must be prime. As we done in D part, we have 9 and 10. We have 9 and 10. 9 and 10 both are co-prime numbers. If I take the same example, 9 and 10, and here both 9 and 10 both are co-prime numbers. And here we have, if the two numbers are co-prime, then at least one of them must be prime. But here 9 is a composite number, 9 is a composite number, and 10, it is also a composite number. So it is not necessary if both the numbers are prime number, then it is co-prime. No, it is not. So the condition of the co-prime number is if the common factor of any two number is 1 only. If 1 is the only common factor between two numbers, so this is a co-prime number. So it is not necessary the two numbers are co-prime, then the other two, at least one of them must be prime. It may be composite also, but the main thing is the common factor between two number is 1. So this statement is a false statement. Numbers can be composite also. Okay, now next we have F part. Here F part is all numbers which are divisible by 4. So let's take 44. All numbers which are divisible by 4 means 4 ones are 4, then 4 ones are 4. Must be divisible by 8. If all the numbers which are divisible by 4, then they must be divisible by 8. If I divide 44 by 8, 5s are 40. Here we are left with remainder 4. So it is not necessary all the numbers which are divisible by 4, it must be divisible by 8. And here we know that 8 is a multiple of 4, not a factor of 4. So this is a false statement. So F part is the false statement. Next we have G part. G part is all numbers which are divisible by 8 must also be divisible by 4. As we done the rule, if the number is divisible by any other number, so it is also divisible by the factor of that given number, and we know that 4 is a factor of 8. We know that 4 is a factor of 8. So if the numbers are divisible by 8 also, then that all numbers must be divisible by 4 because 4 is a factor of 8. So this is a true statement. This statement is true because here 4 is a factor of 8. So this is a true statement. As we done this rule in the starting of this video. Then we have H part. If a number exactly divides two numbers separately, it exactly divide there. Let's take as here we have, if a number exactly divide two numbers, suppose if a number is 3 and it exactly divides two numbers, suppose we have 6 and 9, means 6 is divisible by 3 and 9 is divisible by 3. So 3 2s are 6, 3 3s are 9. If both the numbers are exactly divisible by 3 separately, it must exactly divide their sum. Here 6 and 3 is divisible by 3. So according to the statement, if I add both the numbers, that is 6 plus 9, that is 15. So 15 is also divisible by 3. So let's check. If I divide 15 by 3, 3 5s are 15. So we get remainder 0. So yes, if a number exactly divide two numbers, 6 and 9, say, then it must exactly divide their sum. So this is a true statement. Now here 6 and 9 both are divisible by 3 separately, but if I add all the numbers 6 plus 9, then it is exactly divisible by 3. Now let's continue with I part. Now this is I part. If a number exactly divides the sum of two numbers, it must exactly divide the two numbers separately. This is the vice versa statement of H part. Here we have, if a number exactly divides the sum of two numbers. Here suppose we have a number 3 and it exactly divides the sum of two numbers. Sum means plus of two numbers. Suppose I take 7 plus 2, because 7 plus 2 equals to 9. So I can say that 7 plus 2, which is 9, is divisible by 3. The sum of these two numbers are exactly divisible by 3. The sum of means this 9 is exactly divisible by 3. It must exactly divides the two numbers separately, means if I take 7, so 7 is divided by 3. If I take 2, 2 is divided by 3. Now here, if I add both the numbers, if the sum is exactly divisible, it is not necessary that the number is divide both the numbers separately. So here we have 3 2s are 6, So we know that 2 is not divisible by 3. So this is the vice versa statement of H part. Here it is not necessary if the sum is divisible by any other number, then it must exactly divide the two numbers separately. So this is the false statement. So it is not necessary if the sum is divisible, then it divide the numbers separately. So next we have question number 2. Here are two different factor trees. In this question we have two different factor trees, and this is a factor tree of 60. Write the missing number, and I have to write the missing number. So here we have 60, and first I have 6 and 10. We know that 6 multiplied by 10, that is 60. Then next we have 6, 2. By which number I multiply 2 so that I get 6? That is 3. So 2 multiplied by 6, I will get 6. This is the missing number. Then I have 10. So by which number I multiply 5 so that I get 10? So this is 5 2s are 10. So these are the missing numbers. So next we have the B part. Same number, factor tree is given. We have 30. So by which number I multiply 30 so that I will get 60? So it is clear, that is 2. So here I will write 2. Next we have 30, then 10. So by which number I multiply 10 so that I will get 30? That is clear, 3. So this is 3. Now here both are the missing parts. So by which number I multiply the another number so that I will get 10? So this is 2 5s are 10. So here I have 2 and 5. So these are the missing numbers. Now question number 3 is, which factor are not included in the prime factorization of a composite number? We know that the prime factorization, in prime factorization we express a given number as a product of prime factors, and I have to express the prime factorization of a composite number. So let's take any composite number. Let composite number be, you can take any number. Here I am taking 15. Here 15 is a composite number. So let's do the prime factorization. 15, 3 5s are 15, 5, 1. So prime factorization. So prime factorization of 15 is equals to 3 into 5. So here the question is, which factor are not included in the prime factorization? If I check, if I know that the factors of 15 are 1, 3, 5 and 15 itself. So these are the factors. 1, 3, 5 and 15 are the factors. But prime factorization of 15 are 3 multiplied by 5. So which two factors are not included in the prime factorization of this composite number? That is 1 and number itself, that is 15. So here again I am writing factors of 15 are 1, 3, 5 and 15. Now the prime factorization is, I will write the prime factorization with the help of this, that is 3 multiplied by 5. Now the question is, which factor are not included in the prime factorization? So which factor is not included here? That is 1 and the number itself. So I will write the factor 1 and the number itself, and the number itself is not included in the prime factorization of a composite number. So this is third question. Which factor is not included? If I write the factors of 15, these are the factor, but if I write the prime factorization, here the number 1, the factor 1 and the number itself is not included in any composite number. You can take any composite number. So this is our question number 3. Now we have question number 4. Write the greatest 4-digit number. The first step is you have to write the greatest 4-digit number. So here, greatest 4-digit number is equals to 9999. This is the greatest 4-digit number and you have to express in terms of its prime factors. So you have to solve this 9999. Whenever you always start the prime factorization, always starts from the smallest number, that is 2. As we know that if the digit at ones place is 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8, so it is divisible by 2. But here we have 9, so it is clear it is not divisible by 2. If you have to check whether the number is divisible by 3 or not, just add all the digits. So after adding all the digits, what you get? 9 plus 9, 18. Then after this, I will get 36, and 36 is a multiple of 3, so it is divisible by 3. When you divide 9999 by 3, 3 3s are 9, 3 3s are 9, 3 3s are 9, then 3 3s are 9. So again this is divisible by 3. If you divide, then you will get this. Then after that, just check this number is not divisible by 4 because the last digit is 1. It is not divisible by 5. Similarly, not with 6, 7, 8, 9 up to 10. We all done the divisibility test. Then after that we have 11. So let's check with 11. 11 ones are 11. Now I have 1. Take 0. Then again I will get 1. So 11 ones are 11. So here after dividing, I will get 101, and 101 is a prime number, so 101 divided by 1. So this is the prime factorization, but the question is you have to express in terms of its prime factors. So what will I write? I will write prime factorization of 9999, as we know that you have to express in terms of its prime factor. So you will write 3 into 3 into 11 into 101. So this is the prime factorization of greatest 4-digit number. Now next we have 5th question of the same exercise. Question is write the smallest 5-digit number. Now here we have the smallest 5-digit number. Here the smallest 5-digit number is 10000. That is 10,000. So this is the smallest 5-digit number. Again the same question. Express it in the form of prime factor, means you have to do the prime factorization. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We always starts from the smallest digit, that is 2, and we know that the digit at ones place is even, that is 0, so it is divisible by 2. You can also divide the same in the rough side. 2 5s are 10, then 2 zeros are 0, again 2 zeros are 0, again 2 zeros are 0. You can divide like this for your convenience. So we have 5000. Now similarly again the digit at ones place is 0, so it is divisible by 2. You can divide in the rough side. So after dividing you will get 2500. Again it is divisible by 2 because the digit at ones place is 0. After dividing 2500 by 2, you will get 1250. You can divide the same in the rough side. So after dividing 2, because again 0 is at ones place, this is 625. Now this is 5 at the ones place, so it is clear it is not divisible by 2. So next digit will be 3. So let's check whether it is divisible by 3 or not. For this, add all the digits. So you will get 6 plus 2, 8, then 8 plus this, then you have 13. So it is not divisible by 3. Again, check with 4. It is not divisible by 4 because the last digit is 25, and we know that if the last two digits are not divisible by 4, then the whole number is not divisible by 4. So let's continue with 5. When you divide 625 by 5, 5 ones are 5, 5 twos are 10, 5 fives are 25. Then we have 125. Then again 5. I will get 25, 5. So this is the prime factorization. So prime factors. So let's write the prime factorization. Prime factorization is 1, 2, 3, 4. Means write 2 4 times as a product of prime factors, and 5 4 times. So this is all with the question number 5. Firstly, you have to write the smallest 5-digit number, then express it in the term of its prime factors. So let's continue with question number 6. Again, we have the same question. Find all the prime factors of 1729. So you have 1729. You have to write the prime factors for this. Let's check from 2. Again, it is not divisible by 2. Then for 3, just add all the digits. So here you get 19. So it is not divisible by 3. Similarly, when you check by all the digits, you will get it is divisible by 7. When 1729 is divisible by 7, you will get 247. Then after 7, this number is divisible by 13. And after dividing, I will get 19. Here 19 is a prime number, so you will get this. So here the prime factors are 7 into 13 into 19. You can also divide the given number on the right side for your convenience. Then after this, these are the prime factors. Now the question is, arrange them in ascending order. So this is an ascending order. Then we have now state the relation if two between two consecutive prime numbers. Consecutive means next. This is the first prime number, second prime number. This is the third prime number. These are in consecutive because after 7 the next prime number is 13, and after 13 we have 19. So what is the relation between these two? If I subtract 13 minus 7, I will get 6. If I subtract 19 minus 13, then again I will get 6. So I can simply say that the difference between the two consecutive prime factors is 6. So this is the relation between two consecutive prime factors. So this is all with the exercise 3.5. In this video we done some rules, the concept of prime factor and prime factorization, and we did question number 1 to 6. So your homework is you have to solve again the questions in your classwork notebook, and in the next video we will continue with this exercise. But before continuing the next exercise, you have to revise each and every point which we discussed today. Take care.